Did you realize that when the gospel went forth from Zion and Paul and the other apostles went out to preach Jesus, that they had to prove him using exclusively what we call the Old Testament? For about the first 2 decades, 2.5 decades after Yeshua the Messiah ascended, the only documentation that they had was what we call the Old Testament, the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim, the Tanakh, the law, the writings, and the prophets. And that's what the people were using to learn about the Messiah. They didn't have a New Testament. Have you ever gone back and taken what you believe about Yeshua, about Jesus, and proved it out using exclusively the Old Testament? If somebody challenged you today to prove the Messiah using only the Old Testament, could you do that? Now, we're spoiled because we do have the New Testament, and the New Testament actually quotes the Old when it talks about the Messiah. In order to do this, though, in order for Paul and everybody to teach the Gentiles about the Messiah, they had to start with definitions. They had to start to teach them with the basics and the foundations. What is a Messiah? What does that even mean? What does the Son of God mean? What is salvation all about? What is sin? They had to teach them the Torah in order so that they understood they were sinners, so they would know that they had something to repent of, which is a pretty involved process. So last Sabbath, I preached on this, and I just almost exclusively used the Old Testament to define the Messiah and to define what the Son of God did for us, which he left heaven, came to earth in order to die innocently so that all who believe in him, can have everlasting life. This is an important thing. Almost one could say this is the most important information on earth. So I challenge you, give that message a watch and go through the Old Testament proofs and see if you too can prove Yeshua from the Old Testament. Thank you so much. May Yahweh bless you and keep you in the name of his son, Yeshua.